I'd like to call the Gurnee Village Board regular meeting of July 10th, 2017 to order. Roll call, please, Andy.
Jacobs.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Garner.
Here.
Balmas. Hood.
Here.
Thorstensen.
Here.
5 present, 1 absent.
All right, Trustee Balmas did let us know she'd be out of town tonight. And join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening. Thank you, everyone, for giving up a beautiful summer night to spend with us. First item is always public comment. If you'd like to address the board, you can come to the microphone. And if not, we'll have another opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting. So we'll move on to approval of the consent agenda as presented. Do I have a motion? Motion by Trustee Jacobs.
Second.
Second by Trustee Ross. Roll call, please, Andy.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
5 aye.
Motion carries. Patrick, please read the consent agenda into the record.
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the June 19, 2017 and June 26, 2017 Village Board meetings. Item number 2, approval of Resolution 2017-07, approving a contract with Constellation New Energy, Inc. for the provision of electricity for streetlights. Item number 3, approval of request from Public Works Department to purchase 10 fire hydrant assemblies from the low bidder, HD Supply, Inc. at an estimated cost of $30,998. Item number 4, approval of request from Administration Department to award East Grand Avenue Landscape Installation Project to the low bidder, Dam Guard Landscape Management, at an estimated cost of $75,514. Item number 5, approval of payroll for period ending June 23, 2017 in the amount of $805,409.26. Item number 6, approval of payroll transfer journal for period ending June 23, 2017 in the amount of $795,820.76. Item number 7, approval of bills for period ending July 10, 2017 in the amount of $1,432,941.41.
Thank you, Patrick. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as read into the record?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Jacobs.
Second.
Second by Trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please, Andy.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
5 aye.
All right, motion carries. We'll move on to petitions and communications, which there are none tonight.
Correct.
All right, any reports, updates?
No, well, I've won going live with Zion tomorrow morning. So was that 9 a.m. we're supposed to flip the switch?
Wow.
Right, tomorrow. Yeah. So IS, Chris Velkover has been putting in countless hours, weekdays, weekends, nights. Has really taken the lead on that project with the assistance of Phil Burnell, John Kavanaugh, support staff at the police department. So, I mean, they've all done an amazing job. And hopefully tomorrow, that milestone of the calls ringing here in Gurnee will accomplish that. There'll be other things to take care of to button up after that, but that's a major milestone. So we're anxiously awaiting that and hoping everything goes smooth. So,
Well, with Christopher managing it, I know it well, but he's put in a lot of hours. We really do need to thank him for these efforts. All right. Any old business?
no.
All right. Then we're going to move on to new business. First item is approval of ordinance 2017-32,
32.
authorizing the execution of an amendment to the redevelopment agreement with Mall at Gurnee Mills, LLC for Gurnee Mills renovations.
Sure.
Patrick?
So back in February, we approved an agreement where we would participate financially with Gurnee Mills for renovations of the interior from basically Sports Authority up to floor and decor, that wing, including the food court, and then another area. That was contingent on the Mills filling the Sports Authority and TJ Maxx spaces with retailers. Unfortunately, the retailer that they had lined up for the TJ Maxx space hasn't come to fruition. The negotiations with the retailer lined up for the Sports Authority is still proceeding and looking promising. However, as we talked about before, landing these tenants is contingent upon updating that section of the mall. So the Mills would like to move forward with those renovations. excluding the language that the village's participation is contingent on filling the TJ Maxx space. In order to do that, we need to go back and amend the agreement. So we've gone back, we worked with Attorney Winter and an attorney from the Mills. Basically, all we did was remove, I had here 15 words that relate to the TJ Maxx space in the agreement. And then there was one other cleanup item. We had that the renovations would be cover 150,000 linear feet. That shouldn't be linear feet, that should be square feet. Linear feet would be like 28 miles, so that was just a grammatical error on our part. So this amendment does those two things, takes out the reference to the TJ Maxx space, and then it fixes that linear versus square footage. So it's unfortunate that the TJ Maxx space isn't going to be filled at the retailer. We've been working with Simon, looking at maybe transforming that wing into more of an entertainment destination, so that's in the works as well. As I referenced in my board notes, there's been a lot of reports that have come out lately that, I mean, the U.S. is just overbuilt as it relates to retail space. You guys see it when you read the papers as far as stores closing. CNN Money had stated that in the next 5 years, up to 25% of malls could close. So with the village being so heavily reliant on sales tax, obviously it's important for us to keep that economic engine in the community going. With Simon wanting to continue and make that investment in the mall, I think it's prudent that we also continue to partner with them and sharing that cost to keep the mall attractive and looking good and bringing in people from other communities to spend their dollars here to generate sales tax revenue for us. So,
questions from the board? I know we talked about this, and the tenant for the Sports Authority has made it very clear that it will be contingent on the remodeling, so we will get a new retailer out of this. We're just not getting two retailers, but the remodeling should have a halo effect on all the inline stores too, just as it did on the Macy's wing. So it will have a good positive effect on our sales tax base ultimately.
So is that to say this Dick's Sporting Goods is still coming?
That's not been announced yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But they're working with them.
Okay. Are we?
So our agreement is basically contingent on a retailer going in the Sports Authority.
It is still.
Space.
That's my
yes.
point.
Yeah.
So and we will be contributing the same $250,000 per year for 4 years.
yep.
Based on a retailer signing on.
Yep.
The Sports Authority up. They don't work like the other ones. They'll submit the receipts for us. We'll take a look at them, make sure they fall within the parameters set in the agreement, and then we'll reimburse them. So they spend the money first, and then they get reimbursed.
So the language is one retailer now instead of two? Okay.
Still a good payback.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right. I have a motion from Trustee Ross, second from Trustee Jacobs. Roll call, please, Andy.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
5 aye.
All right, motion carries. Next up is approval of ordinance 2017-33, granting a special use permit for a post-secondary educational facility at 1325 Tri-State Parkway. This is for DeVry University.
Sure. So DeVry is looking to move from their existing location at 1075 Tri-State to a new location at 1325. Their lease is expiring. They were told a year ago that the lease would not be renewed with them as the major tenant in that building, Consumers, is looking to occupy that space. So they've known about this for a little bit, looking to move down the street. The special use is triggered because of the post-secondary educational facilities, because of the parking, the concerns with the demands for parking. So the current site has 119 spaces, including 6 handicap. When this was constructed, it exceeded what was required by code by about 11 spaces. With the new zoning ordinance, it exceeds only by 1. However, the new zoning ordinance does allow for shared parking permission uses that have different peak day and time operations, which this is or applies to a school operation such as this. Then also, the owner of the property also owns the 4 other the other 4 other buildings around there, and has agreed that DeVry can utilize any of those parking spots. So just looking to move the operations. We're not looking to expand or change in any matter, but since it is a post secondary educational facility, that the special use comes into play for the parking, which they should be covered fine. was before the Planning and Zoning Board on June 21st and received a unanimous favorable recommendation, and now is before you for consideration.
Is petitioner here? Okay. You're Lewis? Yes. Okay. We are delighted that DeVry is staying in town. Questions from the board?
Make a motion.
Motion by Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Hood. Roll call, please, Andy.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
5-0.
All right. Well, welcome again, and we're glad you're staying here, and that's a great location. Work out good for you, so thank you. All right. Item number 3, approval of ordinance 2017-34, annexing approximately 2.28 acres located at 35735 North Delany Road. This is the east side of Delany Road, approximately 310 feet north of the intersection of North Delany Road and Morrison Drive. Patrick?
Sure. So the next 2 items on the agenda are related. This is the total paving annexation that we discussed at the last village board meeting. The board approved the annexation agreement. This is a follow-up. We do the annexation agreement, then at the next meeting, the actual annexation itself and the rezoning. So the first ordinance here, 2017-34, is actually annexing the property, and then the next item on the agenda, 2017-35, is the rezoning from the GO in unincorporated Lake County to I-2 General Industrial District in the village of Gurnee.
Petitioner here? Yeah. Okay. Any questions from the board?
So moved. Second.
All right. I have a motion by Trustee Hood, second by Trustee Jacobs. Roll call, please.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
5-0.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Welcome. And a formality, but item number 4, approval of ordinance 2017-35, granting a zoning map amendment for approximately 2.28 acres located at 35735 North Delany Road pursuant to the Gurnee zoning ordinance.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee
Second.
Ross, second by Trustee Thorstenson. Roll call.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
5-0.
All right, very good. Motion carries, and that's going to be a nice addition to there. All right, item number 5, approval of ordinance 2017-36, approving an intergovernmental agreement to participate in the Lake County Metropolitan Enforcement Group. Meg.
Sure. You had a memo from Chief Woodside on this. So the village has been a participant in Lake County MEG since 1990. It's a task force made up of law enforcement officers throughout Lake County, as well as members of the state police. Focus on illegal trafficking of narcotics, controlled substances, street gang activities, and weapon violations. Really allows the police departments to pool their resources and then operate out beyond jurisdictional boundaries. So the agreement's just up for renewal. It's been reviewed by both Illinois State Police and then Attorney Winter took a look at it. I mean, it's pretty short and sweet. As I said, it's been an organization that we've participated in for a long time and reaped the benefits of that participation. So Chief Woodside's here if there's any specific questions on the task force.
Questions from the board?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Jacobs, second by Trustee Garner. Roll call, please.
Jacobs.
Aye.
Ross.
Aye.
Garner.
Aye.
Hood.
Yes.
Thorstenson.
Yes.
5-0.
All right, motion carries. The end of our new business. Do you want to give the board an update? I'm sorry, I should have thought of it on the state sales tax situation with the state.
Sure. So the state has a budget, and there is some impact to municipalities. And if I speak out of line here, Brian, you're going to jump in and correct me. So one of them is that the local government disbursement fund, they're going to decrease that by 10% for fiscal year 2018, but they're going to accelerate 2 extra payments. So the state claims or municipal league claims that should keep municipalities whole, if not make out a little bit. That's supposed to be a one-year deal, so we'll see how that works out. The second is that the state is going to start charging basically an administrative service fee for their work in collecting the home rule sales tax and then remitting that to the municipalities. So that's going to be a 2% fee that they're going to charge. So we have about $8 million in home rule sales tax, so that'll be about $160,000 hit going forward. So that's going to be a continuous thing going forward, not a 1 year. So those are the two main things that came out of it. Like I said, we'll see what happens with this 10% reduction, if that just sticks for 1 year or if that becomes something that's permanent. But then the administrative service fee on the home rule sales tax, that's $160,000 reduction right away. So I think the municipal league said that across the entire state that was supposed to generate about $60 million for the state of Illinois, instituting that service fee. So those are the two big takeaways from our perspective. Was there anything else?
There was some freed up some money, appropriations for motor fuel tax and stuff to keep that money flowing as it does now. But those are the two big ones for us.
So we haven't been dramatically impacted by this budget impasse because we're pretty self-sufficient with our sales tax, but this is a hit in the next fiscal year that they're going to charge us an administrative fee because we have the home rule sales tax in lieu of a property tax. So, Trustee Thorstensen?
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Is there an SLA that they pay us timely, the home rule sales tax?
There's nothing in the budget speaks to that, but
Do they pay us timely now?
yeah. I've never had an issue seeing home rule sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that sound like a tax on the tax?
No, it's an administrative fee for collecting it on our behalf and then remitting it back to us. So kind of like, when we use credit cards, there's usually a convenience fee or a service fee of, roughly credit cards are usually about 2% hit. It's creative. I wouldn't necessarily call it tax, but it is a way to cut into, our revenues that we're very reliant on in lieu of the property tax. Trustee Hood?
So are the numbers that the state of Illinois for the sales tax, is it $3 million that was hanging in the balance that they were considering not giving to us? Is that the correct number or a portion of that? Or remember when, like last year, there was a discussion over maybe they weren't going to pass as much through to local government. What is that number?
That's the 10% they're holding back this year.
Okay. But 10% of what?
Income tax.
Right. So what's that number?
I don't know off the top of my head what it is for us.
So they're saying that we're going to get paid faster, and that somehow is going to make up the 10%.
Well, they're going to make 14 payments instead of 12 payments. They're going to accelerate 2. So the municipal league's example was if the community receives $12,000 annually through income tax, that's $1,000 a month. They're going to reduce that to $900 a month, but instead of getting 12 payments, you're going to get 14 payments. So 900 times 14 is 12,600.
So they're not reducing the amount of money we're receiving. They're just
they're
changing
reducing
the payment
it,
plan.
but they're giving you two accelerated payments. We'll see
Yeah,
how it
we'll
plays
see.
out.
It sounds like it's a wash, so the municipal league, was encouraging, but I don't know, it just seems like odd math to me.
Funny money.
So, but
Thank you.
we do have a budget, so that's a positive start. All right, any other comments all right, well, good luck with the Zion switch over tomorrow. I know many of you put in long hours, and it will reap some benefits for us, and I'm sure it's going to work fine. And I know finance has been putting in a lot of hours because we're switching over to the new finance system with payroll and everything. Thank you for that. So staff's been doing a yeoman's job this summer bringing some of these projects to implementation. So
When it rains, it pours.
yeah, we just got everything hitting at the same time. All right, if there's nothing, no public comment or anything, then do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Jacobs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.